All right, guys, here's kind of a middle update. Been a couple weeks. Got the Mustang 2 suspension in, figured out the cross member issues, got the main part of the frame in, and gonna be figuring out ride height. Right now, I have the frame jig straight and level, and then I leveled the frame on top of that, and then I put the body on there, and I've adjusted the body where I think it is. I've got it kind of tack welded in place, nothing permanently mounted, but starting to show some promise. The main thing next, once I get the rear end in, is I need to figure out ride height. I want this thing to be able to lay out on the airbags. I picked up the 4.8 LS a couple weeks ago. Got a 10 bolt, and they're real dirty. I'm in the process of cleaning them, and I'm going to order the 4-link probably in the next week. This Bug's really rusted out, so I didn't start with a really great body. This is only a couple $100 I picked up. With that being said, all those heater channels had to be cut out, but it kind of worked out good because I saw a guy that built an off-road Bug, and he cut that all out. So, you know, I'm going to have, you can see the 2x3 is going to be along the side. It's going to bolt in some spots and be welded. Everything's going to be permanent. The body's not going to be able to be taken off once I get done. The next major thing is doing the whole other side right there, cutting it all out, getting that whole piece cut out and trimmed. And then once that's in, I can do a final weld the body or tack it, you know, so everything's kind of tacked, and that's where it's going to be. I mean, today I put these pieces in. This is just some real mild steel, but this body isn't moving to the frame anymore. It's in place. I mean, I still have to go back to all these and, you know, and put plate steel on any kind of place like there. And then I'm actually going to come out with a 2x3 to here, from here to here. And then that's where the roll cage is going to be. And I'm going to have to really make that strong because that's going to be the starting point for that hoop. But with that being said, you know, it's in a good spot. So I just tack welded the frame in a couple places there and there. And that's just because I've really measured this from about 8 different locations to get it center in the car. My main goal through this whole thing is, I don't know if you can see, is just keeping everything level and as straight as I possibly can. Here's kind of a back window look right now. But the left side of the vehicle is all cut out. You can see the right side still got pieces in there. I'm going to get to that. And that's what's up next. I live in an association, so making noise is kind of a limited thing during the daytime. I got to recut this rear fender well. The front is pretty much cut out where it's going to be. I'm just going to clean it up. And then obviously I got to do the other one. I'm going to set the motor in this week. I'm looking for specifically a turbo 350 or 450. And of course, when you're looking for something, I just can't find it. So I've got some feelers out. I mean, nothing's going to get mounted until I figure on that transmission is on the motor, and then I can set it in. But I want to get an idea how that motor is where it's going to kind of set in that cross member. I'll probably go with a low profile oil pan if I have to. But it looks pretty good. I'm trying to get a good picture of this. I think the motor is going to sit in here pretty nice. I really, for me personally, I don't care if I can close the hood or not. If I got to cut the hood out or not. Because I'm probably going to run a tall, real tall manifold anyways, one of those kind of things for looks up there on the motor. I mean, the motor's really, really dirty. I'm guessing, you know, these things are about 285 horsepower. You start taking some of the accessories off and all that kind of stuff, they go a little bit over 3 at the flywheel. I'm looking into a cam and springs. And then obviously a tune. I don't think 380-ish, 400 is kind of crazy to think about. And then 100 shot of nitrous, you know. The main thing is I just don't know what the weight's going to be of this car. We'll start figuring it out as I get closer. I'm really hoping I can keep this thing like 2,400 pounds. It sounds like it's real easy, but the steel I'm adding is a lot. The the LS Motors, probably a couple 100 pounds, obviously over the stock motor, probably 250 plus pounds. Then you got the rear end, you got the transaxle difference, you know, and then you got the pan where I'm not going to have that, but then also I'm going to come in with full sheet metal, and you know, and then sheet metal this up. It's going to have 2 seats, and that's going to plus the cage. And I'm just starting on the cage. I haven't bent steel in a long time, so that first one's all messed up. I mean, it fits now because I cut it in half and I got to rebend it with a new piece, but I'm just using that so I have kind of a template, because I always have the hard time. I had a real nice one and it was too wide. So with the cross member, you know, like I said on my first one, this is off, I think, a 56 to a 57. That's what this kit's for, Chevy pickup truck. So originally, that's where the frame was going to go, right here. And then I didn't even think anything about it till I started putting the frame in there, and then just realized that I would have been building like a 4-wheel drive if I did that. So I ended up cutting into it, and the frame's there. So obviously that takes, you know, all that out of the picture. It's hard for me to hold the camera and show you this. This isn't anywhere where where it's going to set. It's actually up a little bit. I'm going to go through the whole range of motion, and then I want to make sure, like I said, that this thing can kind of pretty much lay out. And that's going to have to deal with also worrying about how high I put the motor in, so I make sure I'm not having an oil pan issue, which I'll see when I set the motor in, you know, this weekend. I was going to do it tonight just to kind of get an idea, but it's getting dark already, and I don't have, I got to fabricate the motor mounts. But I think with the transmission and everything, from just measuring it for how long turbo 350s, 400s are, I think I'll be in pretty good. You know, obviously it's going to come back to somewhere about here. So where the motor coming in, and obviously I'll know for sure, I'm guessing about the length of the LS and turbo 350 short, about 46 inches, which is about right about here. So call it here, you know, and then the transmission hump will obviously be pretty big. And then what I've seen on a lot of these rat rods, everything's gonna pedal assembly, and everything's gonna move backwards. You know, I'm gonna lose the footwell, and the seats are gonna sit farther back in the car, which I'm kind of gearing up for that, but I'll see how it's gonna be once we get it in there. So that's about it, guys, for this video. Next one, like I said, the motor will be sitting in it. Please follow and subscribe to the channel, and, you know, leave me a comment. Tell me what you think, good, bad, any opinions or anything you think I'm missing out or trouble going on down the road. I'd really appreciate it. It all comes in handy. I'm looking around, trying to read as much as I can up on this. This is a kind of a first time big construction thing, what I've done, being involved in fabbing a frame and going from there. I mean, it's going to be a long-term project. But thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.